Where are we going, Dina?
We're going to lunch. We're going to Joe's Maplewood.
Okay.
Good place, Italian place.
Okay.
Yo, Simon's double parking the new whip, man. Is this a supercar, man? What is that?
I didn't want to be in the way of Rico.
I think you should,
His doors are like.
pull next to Rico, that's all.
Oh,
Everyone else
how do you manage to double park in the Miata? Like the wheelbase is this small, and the turning radius is great.
Right.
Like this is horrendous.
I could do donuts in one space.
Yes, you did.
Simon, can you please move over here?
Yes, sir.
Please, sir. Oh.
Yeah, get us something. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
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 To a great year.
Yes.
2021 was our most profitable year ever. Don't put that on camera. We're going to break even more records, so let's go.
2021 was definitely the best year for me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow, when I look back on how much money I did. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, the new accountant went through. He's like, bro, you did this.
Mm-hmm.
Did what? He's like, look at this. I did.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
All right.
I was like, okay, let's see if we can do double, which is going to be difficult, but
Yeah.
but with more ads and the new wholesale program, I think will definitely make the make the transition.
Not for business.
Yeah.
But for
Personal growth.
just personal and things like that. So Simon over here, congratulations, he was picked up an ND2 Miata. Super proud of him. So the day I met Simon,
He was a scrub.
he told me that it was his dream to start, racing and doing track days and this type of stuff, and he wanted a rear drive, good handling car. So I kind of steered him in the direction of an ND2 Miata. He was originally looking to get an S2000, but for the money and all of that, it just makes more sense to get a new Miata. We got bread coming.
Bread's out. Thank you.
Ooh, is that a toast?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Toast. Yeah.
That's it.
No, I just eat chicken. Chicken helps.
You need
Yeah, but it doesn't
vegetables.
help.
Remember, you're getting old now. You have to eat vegetables.
That's right.
That's what you do
That's
now.
why your bones hurt every day.
I never liked the veggies. Now I love veggies.
Some veggies are really good.
I don't like vegetables. What are you, 3?
Listen, the chicken eats seeds and stuff, you know. Then I
Even
eat
my
the chicken.
children eat vegetables. My 3-year-old loves vegetables. 3-year-old loves her vegetables. Loves fruits, vegetables, all that.
Vegetables are super important, honestly.
And then he's over here. I'm a grown man. I don't eat vegetables. I eat chicken. That's good enough. Okay.
Protein, right?
You need fiber.
Yes.
You need calcium. You need all your vitamins.
Especially if we're in another state, we need extra fiber.
Yeah, we need extra fiber.
We were talking about that last night. So Simon is going to start doing autocross this year.
Absolutely.
Maybe he'll get into track days. That'll be a little more complicated. Just because you're going to have to insure that car for track insurance if you're going to take it to a track day. I won't let you take it to a track day unless you do.
Yeah. Ooh.
Because regular insurance won't cover
No, it
any
doesn't.
incidental damage.
And you don't make enough money to self-finance if something were to happen.
Right.
Like, I can do it. You can't. And you're not going to come to me and be like, Dad, I need a small loan of
Hey,
20
I'm his
grand.
white dad.
Ooh, Black Dad, I need a loan of $20,000. So we're not gonna get it.
So anyway, we're gonna see what
I'll
we
work
can do.
for it.
We'll see what we can do with Simon. And he's gonna start getting into modding, which he hasn't done a lot of mods before on his own personal
Never.
cars, just little stuff.
Yeah.
And he mods cars for a living, but not really
Which is
his
a
own.
shame.
Yeah. But yeah, so he's gonna have a good year, I think. So Tom, what's your 2022 goals?
Buy a plane.
Okay.
Buy a plane.
Let's go.
This man gets a
Tell us more.
I just moved back from the East Coast, and when I lived out in Denver, I moved back to the East Coast, but I lived out in Denver. I had access to like 40 different planes in my flying club, but here I have access to like one, maybe two, and it's usually always booked. So I think it's time that I actually buy a plane so I can do the travel that I like to do and flying I like to do. So my goal this year is to pick up a cheapish plane that can seat 4 people, my wife, kids, travel to see family.
Cheapest plane. Oh, I'm just gonna buy a plane. My cheapest plane.
You know, I'm not going to go buy a big jet, no Gulfstream here.
So you're
but-
like 150-ish.
yeah, around there.
I know Rico and Dino wants to learn that too.
Yeah, man, who doesn't want to learn how to fly? You know how baller that would be? Like, Simon, think about it. You know, you right now, kind of still scrubbish, but you get a plane. And you're like, you know what, girl, blah, blah, blah.
But look at
Second
that.
date.
Look at that beautiful smile.
Look at that smile. But see, you got second date. Smile for the camera. You pick her up in the Miata, right? You go up to the, the little airstrip. You're like, hey, we're gonna go up to New York. She's like, oh, I thought we were gonna drive. Don't worry about it, baby. We good. You show up. You got a plane sitting there. You jump in, and you're not having someone else fly. You're the one flying it. You're like, hey, girl, I got you. You fly up to Buffalo. You spend a beautiful time together. You know how baller of a date that is? That's baller.
That's pretty ballsy.
I mean, it's pretty baller. Like, what girl?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, yo, my man's a pilot.
That's a whole different level.
Like, he's a pilot. Cause
All right, Rico, what are your 2022 goals
so
besides business goals?
besides business goals, so 2022, really just want to keep doing what I did this year. I want to race a little bit more. Move up, potentially get my license for 2023. But I need to get more experience for this season.
Get you into the advanced class this year.
So we move up to that. And then I want to spend, a little bit more time with the kids, doing some cool things. Like, we went to the beach this year. Because the last couple of years I couldn't really do much because I was, working. Now I've got a little free time, spend time with the kids. Obviously do some more racing.
We got Texas 2K.
Yeah, we have Texas.
March, I want to say.
Yep. If the car ever gets done, but
Yeah, we got to go out to Cali. We were supposed to be there 2 weeks ago. Then we're supposed to be there next week. Now it got pushed back.
another week, which, depending, might get pushed back another week.
Right.
There's been a lot of pushbacks of late.
Yeah, whenever that car is done, we'll fly out and get it. What other trips do we have planned?
We should just make a Miami trip. That's what we should do. We should take Simon.
Ooh, on a Miami
We
trip?
should take Simon on a Miami
We
trip.
could do that.
That's what we should do. Simon, you want to go to
Show him the
Miami?
ways.
I would love to.
That is what we will do. So 2020.
Well, that should be a reward if he does something wrong.
Yeah. So if you don't screw up these packages, you get to go to Miami. You screw these packages up, buddy. You're not
gotta
going.
walk.
No. But if you do well, we'll reward you with a Miami trip. We will pay for your flight. I'm not gonna let you fly first class though. Like, I'm flying first class, not you.
It's okay.
I don't fly first class usually either, so
Yeah.
don't feel bad.
No, it's okay.
So
I'm back in coach, like text messaging or Facebook messaging Rico.
like, I'm hungry. I'm not.
Hey man, do they got snacks up there?
Can you bring me some when I come over?
I tried getting the snacks back there.
What's that? One time I was right behind him. I was a row behind him. I was in peasant class, and he was in first class, so I could like tap his shoulder, but they wouldn't give me snacks. And I'm
No.
like, bro, it was a 5.5 hour flight. It was a flight to LA.
Yeah.
And they had no food the whole time. No snacks, no nothing. I'm
That
like,
sucks.
I'm gonna murder someone and eat them if I don't get food.
So peasant class, no food now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you do well, it'll be a Miami trip, and the Miami trips are always a good time.
Yes.
Always a good time.
Another trip that Tom and I have planned is
We're doing F1.
F1 in Canada.
Ooh.
So I have never been to an F1 race, so that'll be interesting. That'll be a nice long weekend. That's in June or July?
June?
Okay.
June 18th, somewhere around that weekend.
Okay.
Oh. F1 Miami's expensive, but I really want to do F1 Miami.
Yeah, but the prices are obnoxious.
It was really good.
What, it was $3,000 per ticket? No, take it back.
Yeah, for a seat, it was around $3,000.
Yeah, so if you want to sit on the straight, to sit on the straight.
I think minimum was $3,000.
Yeah, minimum was $3,000 on the straight per person, so that was $6,000 right there. Which, I mean, is Sir Lewis Hamilton going to be there? I want to go, so, but yeah.
But then there's hotel. It was probably going to end up being, I think, like a $15,000 trip, like stupid. So speaking of Sir Lewis Hamilton, Tom's a big F1 fan.
Huge F1 fan. Sorry to say, not an
So is
Hamilton
Taj.
fan at all.
But here's the topic, and I'm just gonna throw fuel on this fire. Is Lewis Hamilton the GOAT?
No,
On paper, I think, yeah.
Taj says no.
no. Explain. Explain how he's not. How many brown people were watching F1 before Lewis Hamilton?
Oh my god.
How many black folks were watching F1 before Lewis Hamilton?
But that doesn't make him the best driver of all time.
On paper, though, he has more podium wins
On paper.
than anyone. He's tied for the most championships next to good old Schumacher, who is a legend.
But also a bit of a dirty driver. Hamilton is a classy driver and he's a wise driver, and he's not really a jerk on the track.
Yeah.
It's really fun to hear him whine all the time.
He's a
when
little
he's
whiny.
first.
That's why I don't really like him. He's a little whiny.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people don't like him, because he's whiny. So here's my only thing. If he truly is the GOAT, which is debatable,
It's hard to compare to like very different heritage.
right? And also Schumacher didn't have Mercedes F1 team. Like current day Mercedes F1 is so much better than everyone ever.
Current driver of our time, maybe I'll give you,
But is Verstappen
we'll see.
right? Verstappen, I think. Here's my feeling. I feel like Verstappen is a faster driver. I think, in general. I mean, he had more wins this past season.
Yeah, I think except for Hungary, he always finished in the top 2
Maybe.
Yeah.
of the races he finished.
Yeah, the races
races
that he finished.
he
Yeah,
had
he did finish
more
top two.
DNFs because of
Except for
failures and
Hungary,
stuff. But like Hamilton's he's more consistent and he makes better decisions and he's wiser.
Yeah.
He's got the experience. I mean,
Right.
Verstappen.
But I feel like he's
probably-
always been a little wiser. But here's the thing: if Hamilton is the GOAT, then why did he lose the championship to his teammate back in 15 or 16?
Oh yeah, Rosberg.
Yeah. If you're the GOAT, why is your teammate beating you?
I mean, you can't deny that he has a really good car. Probably the best
That's the
car.
thing. They have the best car.
I mean, but Jordan didn't make it to the finals every year that he played. So, but he is still arguably the GOAT, right?
Right, but the thing is, in basketball, there's not a major piece of equipment that's a huge factor in how well you're doing. For example, George Russell. Do you know who George Russell is?
No.
Williams driver. He's a
okay.
rookie this year.
Moving to Mercedes.
Huh?
Yep.
He's
He's
moving to
moved to
Mercedes.
Mercedes,
He's
yeah.
taking Bottas' spot
Yeah.
in 22. He subbed in for Hamilton for one race this year. Now, how did he finish for the season? Like 14th for the season or something?
Not great, but
Not great.
Yeah.
But when he was in
when he-
Hamilton's car, he was in first place in that race.
until they screwed up his pit stop.
Right. So if you take a P14 for the season driver or whatever he is and put him in Hamilton's car, all of a sudden he's the fastest dude out there. So how much is Hamilton being the winningest F1 driver of all time? How much of that is his talent? And there's no debate. He is one of the best talents ever in F1.
And also credit where it's due.
And how much
The
of
car is also good probably because he helped develop
feedback,
it.
right.
Right. So we got to give the credit where it's due.
right, but they also have a lot of money, so they could.
So yeah, take a back marker, throw him in a Mercedes. He's going to do really well. But the fact that George Russell did as well as he did,
Right.
that shows something about George Russell.
And Russell's going to do better, I think, than Bottas did in that Mercedes in 22.
Yes.
And Bottas, traditionally, he's P2 for the season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not this year. He's 3, I
He'll
want to say.
never be a champion. He's a wet dude like that. He won't take the risk.
Right.
and
But it's
great driver, great teammate. Don't get me wrong, great wingman as he
Yeah.
was called.
I mean, Verstappen's teammate was great. I mean, he was cock blocking Hamilton.
Checo, right? Yeah, like,
Ooh, that
absolute
last
legend.
one?
Absolute legend.
He held his ground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like, how do you cock block that well? I mean, but that last race, there was like an 80% chance that Hamilton was going to win that until that whole debacle happened, and now it's like, oh, now we're getting rid of a 13-second gap all of a sudden, and the cars in between the two on the last lap. And Hamilton's got old tires. Like, talking about stacking the deck against him.
Yeah.
I'm
Did you
happy-
hear the radio feed?
Yeah.
That was heartbreaking. Just to hear him, he's like, just manipulated, man. He's like, he's out on fresh tire. Safety car is not moving. Safety car is not picking up speed. Like, he knew something was going on.
Right.
That was just,
It's just like, and you could criticize and say, oh, Hamilton and Mercedes should have pitted. But if they pitted and then things didn't go that way, then they would have lost
They
for a
would have lost
different
for- yeah.
reason. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Let's also not forget that F1 fans, myself included, have a very short memory. The championship was not necessarily won or lost in the last race this season. It was all 21 races.
And
there was
that's
a
one thing
lot
I
of things
point
that
out.
actually happened.
the whole season.
Right.
But they wanted that.
There was a lot of times where Verstappen got screwed. You know, there's the time that he had an incident with Hamilton at Silverstone, and Max got 0 points, and Hamilton won.
Yep.
There was a time in Brazil where, things happened against Hamilton, and he still came back despite all the setbacks and won. But then you had, Max lost a tire in, where was that, Russia or something? He blew out a tire and he got 0 points. So Max got screwed over more this season. So I feel like overall he deserved to win the season. He just didn't necessarily deserve to win the last race.
That's right. You can't knock Max for. I mean, he's a good driver. To have those. First of all, I'm not a Max fan. I'm just saying that he deserves the championship, whether or not you agree with what happened in the last race.
Right.
But Hamilton did deserve the race, though.
But there's always going to be an asterisk
Generally,
next to that championship.
Generally,
I don't
Hamilton-
agree there.
The thing. Now, Hamilton's first win, I think, was also an asterisk type of situation.
It was.
Do you know the details of his first?
His first McLaren championship.
I don't remember that one. No.
I remember he lost his rookie year by 1 point,
Mm-hmm.
and the second year he won by 1 point.
Over
And-
Massa, I think, wasn't it?
I can't remember, but there was some tomfoolery. There was some Simon foolery going around with that. It was a similar situation, I think. That got him his first win, and no one remembers that asterisk because that was one of 7. So he's proven himself time and time again.
Yeah, so I mean, if
Great.
Verstappen proves himself, that's awesome. But as it stands right now,
he will probably after Hamilton retires. There's rumors that Hamilton might retire, but that would be really stupid because he needs to win his 8. He needs to win his 8.
just
And
to
he's
solidify
in
it.
his prime.
Yeah.
People are saying Hamilton's a better driver this past year than he's ever been because Max has forced him to be.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
It shows.
Yeah.
So
It used to be he would coast out in front, and now he's actually being pushed along.
Yeah, he'd be so far out in front, it was like boring.
Right.
sipping tea.
Yeah.
You know what? Like from Talladega Nights. He's over there sipping tea.
Yep. Because the car was so fast, it was just no one.
We'll see what happens next year because everything changes. So if the Red Bull car isn't as fast, Mercedes is definitely going to be fast. There's just no doubt about that. So.
Mercedes already fired up a 2022 car. Yeah, I heard. So
Really?
Yeah, they're the first team to do so.
Of course they are.
Yeah, but there was a rumor from Audi was going to get in too.
They're trying.
It's like Porsche Audi or something.
Yeah, they were trying
not
to-
until 24.
No, but they were trying to strike a deal with McLaren.
For the engine.
They were trying to strike a deal.
And that's an Acura motor or new Nissan motor?
Huh?
Oh, no, that's your car.
Yeah, that's my car. Yes, so when they made those, they bought like an old Nissan design.
From a race car or
Yeah, from
something.
their race car from almost like 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's a Nissan-based motor.
Oh my.
Yes, they were like, we don't even have to start from scratch. We can take this, massage it, make it better, and then boop, drop it in, and it works. That's how they made the 12C so fast. They were like, we want to build road cars again, but we don't want to have to do all this development from scratch. So we're good at F1. we can take some of this tech, we can put it together, and that's why the 12C was faster than every supercar that was out at that time. It killed everything, killed the 458, killed all the Lamborghinis.
It was the only one that
with
probably
turbos.
came with turbos.
It was the only one that came with turbos,
Yeah.
and it was just leaving everything behind. And at that point, Ferrari was like, "What the fuck? We need to do something."
Yeah, they were so hesitant to get turbos for so long.
And then they saw what was happening with McLaren just killing them and everything. They were like, "This is not cool." So they ended up putting turbos on it, and that's how you got the 488. But McLaren was whooping everyone's ass in that game. They were just so much faster. I'm like, yeah, they had the turbos. I mean, it's proven.
You don't have to.
Yeah, like if you go back and you look at when the 12C came out back in like 2011, and all the cars it was competing against, it was destroying all of them. Like,
And then didn't they turn up the boost or whatever
they turned
the next year?
Yeah, they turned up the boost. So it was like a year or two later. They were like, "Oh, let's do this new software revision," because they had the 650S come out, and it was just a facelift of the 12C. So the 650 is just a facelift. I mean, there are certain things that are different, but for the most part, it's just a facelift. So they were like, "Oh, we can just give this more power because it's the same everything besides the front end and a few bits and pieces," and that's what they did. And they did. They gave it a tune, and then boom, it was even faster. And then they came out with the 675, like it was out there, and then they had the 570 and all that. But that was it. I mean, McLaren knew their shit, and even to this day, all their cars are fast. Like the only thing that can beat the 765, like out the box, is the SF90, and even that doesn't beat it. It's either or, and the SF90 is a hybrid all-wheel drive. Yeah.
So how do you compare to the Model S Plaid?
So the Plaid, I don't remember, the Plaid's fast.
I know it's got lower, their hit top speed quicker, so it's...
Yeah, but it does walk away from a lot of the other cars. Like the 765 and the Plaid are pretty close. They're pretty close, but that just shows the tech behind the Plaid. I mean, it's amazing. But if speed was the only thing that I cared about, I would have been bought a Plaid. I just don't really give a shit. I'm like, it's cool and it's nice, and that's the way the future's going. But instead of me spending $130,000, I would spend $1.3 million for a P1 over buying that any day of the week, because there's certain things. Yeah. So there's just certain things about that level of car that you can't get with just like a Plaid. The exclusivity. I've been able to do business deals because of my car. Whereas if I had a Plaid, probably not as much, because it doesn't draw near as much attention. So
it's a Rolex with 4 wheels.
it's a Rolex with 4 wheels. But if you got a Richard Mille like that, it's people are like, what is that?
The thing is, like, what's the accuracy of a digital watch versus a Rolex?
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know. Let's just pretend they're similar. But you can get a Casio for $40. Right,
Yeah.
but a Rolex is 20 grand or something, right? So it's the same type of thing.
Yeah.
But it's funny how the outlook on electric cars has changed so much in the past decade. 10 years ago, it was electric cars are stupid and dumb and slow, and I don't care about them. And now it's
I want a Tesla.
It's either that or it's the diehard petrol heads that are, oh well, I don't care how fast it is. I don't want one. And it's just like,
I'll get a Roadster for sure. Like, I will definitely buy a Roadster.
they close the pre-orders for those.
Like, I will definitely get a Roadster. You can count on that. But
That thing's gonna be crazy.
that thing's gonna be fast. I just hate the fucking steering wheel.
Well, is the Roadster
thing with
gonna
the
have the
Plaid.
Plaid steering wheel?
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Because it's like a joystick.
Yeah, it's a yoke. Yeah, it's a yoke.
There you go.
Ooh, not a bad idea. Maybe we can put some rings
So
on
any
it.
other 2022 goals?
Take flying lessons?
We're not gonna have time for that. Probably won't have time for that.
Flight Simulator.
A lot of Flight Simulator.
Oh, when we build the racing sim,
That we wanna-
could
yep.
do a dual purpose.
Yeah, we want to build a racing rig. And I want to flesh out my shoe collection a little bit more. Like right now I'm at like 100 and something pairs. So my shoe wall is pretty decent, but I want to get 365 so I can wear a different pair of shoes every day of the year and never have to worry about it.
Okay. Yeah. Do you worry about that now?
No.
There's a few times he
Yeah, there's-
called me at like 2 a.m. He's like, Dino, I don't know what shoes I'm gonna wear tomorrow. Walk me through this.
I'll walk
Yeah.
you through. Let's go.
Taj, 2022. Flip the camera around.
Okay. Here. Okay. So, my personal goal as of right now is to get better at what I'm doing. Comes to video mainly, to be honest with you. I want to get way better at than what I am at right now, and then I also want to get a car.
Let's go.
Cool
I
car?
want a cool car. I want to track it.
Let's go.
I want to be able to track it.
Miata.
Miata?
Yes.
Get a Miata.
That's an option if
Hey,
Simon
they
helps me
convinced
find
me,
one.
okay? They'll convince you too.
I'm gonna start a Facebook group called Dino Made Me Buy a Car.
Yes.
And it's already probably gonna have like 40 members.
Probably.
I'll be honest.
No, it's mostly
Made Pete buy a car.
yeah, it's Vet, Evos, two Miatas.
I bought the Exo set.
The Exos. Yeah, I've already made him buy a car. At least one, and just the Exos, I guess, right?
Yeah, we talked about the NSX at one point, and I bought one of those. You're like, oh, maybe it's something that you should try. I'm like, all right, and I bought it, and it was cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. I guess that's it for you. But yeah, like if you're close to me in my life, I will make you buy a car that you didn't intend to buy. But you will always be happy that you did.
I'm very happy I bought the Exo set.
Yes.
Very happy.
At first he was like, I'm like, just shut the fuck up and buy this car. You'll be
Yeah.
glad you did. And every time he drives it, he's like, I'm so glad I bought this car.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't want it. And then we're like, oh, well, you need a backup race car. I'm like, no, I don't.
Yep.
And
Yes,
the
you do.
very first race of the season, I needed a backup race
Yep.
car.
Yep.
Took the GTR out, and that thing's a fucking hog.
Yeah, it's heavy. You can feel how heavy it is.
Oh,
So we'll wait till he gets back and I'll talk about my goals. Maybe we'll see.
yeah. Your goals, bro. Your goals.
My goals, yeah. I just want to get better at what I'm doing. Honestly, I quit my day job because I love doing this.
Took a leap of faith. I like it.
Yeah.
I did the same thing.
And the first 2 months were like definitely difficult, but I boosted up, and I'm here today. So that's definitely gonna be my biggest goal is traveling and doing what I do.
What about swollenness?
Honestly, I
Swollen is a goal.
Eat a lot
Size
of
is a
greens.
prize.
with what I do, like I'm constantly traveling too. It just doesn't work out
Push
anymore.
ups, bro.
Push-ups,
Yeah.
you can only go so far, right?
We need vegetables.
I mean,
Vegetables. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
just
True.
wanna get
Like
to
you
that.
need
Start eating vegetables. Okay.
that's
You
it.
know what? I'll set a goal.
2022 goal, vegetables.
Start
vegetables.
eating
Here.
vegetables.
There we go.
I'm
2022
not
goals.
eating
Vegetables. That's what you need. Oh no, I need a fork.
Excuse me? Could you get us a side of forks, please? Thank you.
Side of fork.
A set.
It sounds like it's a
Side.
Yeah.
Those forks are delicious.
I wish I had a side of forks right now.
Little hot sauce on them, maybe.
Yeah. Goals too.
No, use something. Maybe some crushed red pepper.
Here's some extra forks.
Thank you. Thank you. Side of forks. Simon, come on.
You give us a whole lot.
Can I get one too? Side of fork?
Oh, Rico's hungry, man. You need all the forks you can get.
Yeah.
2022 goals. Hopefully with COVID, travel a little more than we did the past year and a half.
Cool.
Although we did pretty well. We went on what, 4 or 5 trips on a
Something
plane
like-
at least.
Yeah, we did four or five trips, and each time was pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good trips. Let's see. I want to grow the YouTube channel and get
Okay.
it monetized. That's a big goal. Increase the website sales. We had a record-breaking year on the website this past year, 2021, and we want to go a little harder and a little better, and have more inventory and all of that. I want to tune more high-end cars / supercars.
Yeah.
Definitely more of that. Race more than I did this past year in the Formula car. We only did, well, we tried to race 3 races, and then because of
Yeah.
reasons, we only actually successfully completed 1 race. So a little more of that would be nice.
Well,
And
We do have a better motor and an actual set of motors,
yeah,
so
that's true.
we're
Set
gonna
on
have
that.
absolutely.
And yeah, start to get back into better shape again. I'm a little out of shape right now because of COVID and being too busy. I need to get a little more steam.
We're going to the gym together, do you know?
Let's go.
Okay. Okay.
Let's go.
He's going
Yes.
to tell us what though.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
you're gonna need some
I'm gonna
vegetables.
Go to my gym.
Okay.
I'm not gonna go to Rona Central.
well,
That's a fact.
Honestly, yeah.
That's a fact.
Where do you go, Dino?
my house.
Okay.
I go to hometown. I go to Rico's house.
Okay.
No, I go to Hometown Fitness, which is here in Midland.
Okay. You gotta go to hometown now.
He's not that much of an out of shape. Okay.
You can see his chest.
Right?
I'm out of
see
shape
chest.
for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is like the worst shape I've been in like 10 years.
Ooh.
At least.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And you don't look that normal.
But
Yo.
like, I used to have a six-pack, you know?
Yeah, so, I mean, how often do you see a McLaren pulling up every day? Like, no one's going to take a McLaren to Red Lobster generally, but
On proven, how many black person do you see driving a McLaren and pulling up to a restaurant?
it's true. But we have also talked about that.
Yeah. So like, it's funny. So if we're going somewhere, and I'm in the 911 or whatever. I could be in my truck, towing a trailer or whatever, and he's in a McLaren or a Lamborghini or whatever, and we're at like a convenience rest area, or regardless of where we are, people inevitably will walk in the door. And they will walk up to us, and they'll turn to me, and they'll be like, "Is that your McLaren out there?" And I'm like, "That's racist."
That's
It is.
Yeah. Like, they will go right to him like, bro, that McLaren's sick.
Yeah, because I fit the demographic more than
Right.
others.
You're
like,
more casual
Now, here-
sportswear,
here's
and
the-
you're on swag, so it's a little
Well, yeah,
different.
but it's a white versus
It's a
black
white versus
thing,
black
too.
thing, 'cause-
So and he's younger than me. So,
Right.
but another part of the equation is, you know, when I'm not around and people are like, "Yo, is that your car?" Blah blah blah. He gets the, "Oh, so are you a rapper? Or are you a football player?"
Yeah.
Or, which, to be fair, I mean, your shape makes
yeah.
you look like a football player.
So to be in their defense, sure.
And it's just like, but at the same time, it's like, oh, so I guess the only successful black men are rappers and
Ball players,
athletes.
yeah.
Like, they
So-
can't be businessmen.
Like, you can't own a business, you can't own a bunch of rental property. You can't do any of those things. You either have to rap or you got to play ball. You either got to score a touchdown or you got to be able to dunk. Whichever one. So it just goes to show.
You ain't playing hockey.
Why not both?
Sure, I could be a Bo Jackson. You could be a jack of all trades. But it doesn't. It helps in a lot of ways, but it doesn't help in other ways. Because like we were talking about, they usually look at it and they're like, oh, you're just trying to impress me. I'm like when I said that, she was like, oh, but you need to tell me you have a Lambo too. I'm like, actually, just sold my Lambo. She's like, oh, okay, likely story. I'm like, oh. She's like, I don't like liars.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm not lying. She's like, you have to be lying because nobody has that many businesses. No one does all these things. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, is it unbelievable because I'm young and black that I've done these things? Or is it just you don't believe anyone can do that because you haven't done it? Which one is that? Because maybe the guys...
Anybody who's done those things is interested in you.
Right.
And that's generally, it's like, so some girls can't believe it. They're like, okay, this guy's a millionaire. Why would he want to date me? He's got to be catfishing. Or either he's not a millionaire and he's lying about everything, or he's just spitting game to me and blah, blah, blah. Probably the second part. Definitely not the first part, probably the second part. But, it does make things, a little harder. And
But
then, of
what's your
course,
message to these people?
message to those ladies in general?
Yes.
Or just people in...
Just people in general. People in
Black
general.
people
yeah.
can drive really nice cars, and we don't have to dunk a ball or be a rapper. Okay? All right. I know rappers, and I know people that play ball. Good friends with them. But I don't do either one of those. Well, technically, I did when I was at AB's camp. I was catching touchdown passes. But that's
No one was
just-
paying you to do it.
No one was paying me to do it, though. No one was paying me to do it. It's a charity event.
Charity.
Yeah, it's charity. We have to get back to the kids, man. Because young black kids, they generally don't have a lot of role models. And the ones that they do, they don't really get this, reach out and touch.
The
And
ones that they do get them, they're either drug dealers or selling something on the corner, not an actual person who's showing the ways of making, good money.
internet money.
Internet money, that's right.
Yeah. Business, baby. That's what it's all about.
They got like the lender and